We are interviewing a very special guest this morning. His name is Randall Daley, and he has some special information to share with us today. So, this is a really awesome conversation about ayahuasca.
Can you give us some background on ayahuasca? Like where it originated? How do you get it in the US? Like what is that?
It's actually it's illegal. You can't just get it in the U.S. It originated, from my understanding, from Peru, from the Amazon jungles. Comes from a bark. They boil it and to get the what they call DMT out of it, or whatever it is, the molecules that gives you your experience. There's also a leaf that they put in there to so that we can digest it, but we do have to get it out of your system once you put it in.
Yeah, cuz I'm totally ignorant to this stuff, but
Yeah, I
I've
mean,
watched a couple of documentaries,
mm,
but
yeah,
I know zero. So, anyway, thank you.
that's just the just there's a lot more to it, and it's also spiritual. So uh, while they're making they call it medicine. While they're making the medicine, they pray on it and do different ceremonies with it as well, if it's done
Now,
right.
Randall, I'm curious, do you know like how long this thing has been around? Do you know
Oh, a
like
long time.
historically?
It's been around a
Okay.
long time. I couldn't give you an exact date, but it's been around a long time. Yeah.
Now I can
Yeah, and
imagine.
I didn't know you couldn't get it in the US. Like so it has to be like if somebody from the US is interested in it, it has to be sent somewhere and then
I mean, like,
like what's the process?
they can send the materials to make it, yeah, to the US. But I mean,
I understand
it's not
this.
legal.
Yeah, someone has to prepare it.
Yeah.
Like it is sent here. Technically, yes, it is illegal, but yes, it would be sent to someone who is able to prepare it.
But
Okay, so
just to be
somebody has
clear,
to know.
I'm not an expert at how it's prepared and how
Yeah,
it's
thank
made,
you.
how it's all that. I'm not an expert at
Yeah.
by any means, but I did have an amazing experience from it. So I mean, it really, like, 360 for me in my life, for sure.
Yeah, I'm anxious to hear about that. So, who introduced you to it?
I had three different people at three different times uh, talk about the ayahuasca um, to me. It's kind of weird because it was at the same place that I had it done. And these people didn't know each other, by the way. The last person that talked to me about it, I kind of went in and really looked at it. But what drove
So,
me to do it is I had my mom passed away. I had a kind of a bad experience with that. Um, I had something happen during that time. I'm not going to get into details with that because it hasn't, it's just starting with this story. But um, basically, I had a conversation with God, and you know, told him I'm all in. So whatever comes in my path, I'm all in because I needed some kind of guidance, and I was kind of getting that. Like I said, three different people at three different times didn't know each other, went to the same place, told me about it. Just out of the blue. I'd never heard about it before in my life. Before that, I never heard about it at all. Then all of a sudden, boom, 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 after my mom passed away. So yeah, that's what kind of led me to do that experience.
um, what were your interests in it?
Yeah, oh, yeah, good. I just wanted to get a connection with my mom. That was it. And I was told that
Okay.
that possibly could happen. You know, uh, I didn't have any kind of awareness of or any knowledge at all of ayahuasca or any kind of medicine in that direction. Even peyote, I didn't know anything about that. Um, but I was looking for a connection with my mom. That was my main reason. Honestly, I probably shouldn't say this, but I probably would have done cocaine or something if they said I could get connection with my mom. You know. when
Wow.
the direction I was going. If it happened like that, 3 different people at 3 different times, whatever, just hearing about it
Yeah.
and being directed, because I mean, you can't turn a blind eye to that, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now,
It,
can I
it's
ask?
s-
Yeah, go ahead, Ma.
no, I just it was more spiritual. It was a spiritual um, connection that you wanted.
Yeah, I wanted to uh, say sorry and um, ask her for forgiveness and that kind of stuff, because I had a lot of guilt from her
Sure,
passing. So
sure. Go ahead, Natalie. Yeah.
I was gonna ask, so was the ceremony successful in that you were able to see your mom or talk to your mom or feel your mom's presence at all?
not in that way, but it was successful, as in it saved my life, hands down.
Okay.
It literally saved my life.
Yeah.
Gave me a whole different perspective of life and how I was maneuvering in life.
Yeah, that sounds pretty powerful. So let's see. The viewers probably want to know about like the setting, right? Like the environment. Like, so can you describe the setting of the ceremony?
It was in a big teepee. I think there was about, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I'd say about 15. I might be off a little bit on the numbers, maybe 20 people that were inside a teepee. When you come, everybody's like, giving you hugs and, bringing you in. You know what I mean? When I got there, I was pushing everybody away. I said, "Don't touch me. I don't know you. Don't touch me." And what I got from they call them shamans. What I got from the shamans, the one that put this together, there was two. Uh, they just looked at me and smiled, like, you'll figure it out. I didn't understand that in the beginning. I was like, "What? Why are they looking at me smiling?" I'm pushing them away. Don't touch me. I don't know you, kind of thing. Basically, I went in without respect for the medicine at all, knowing nothing about the medicine, having literally no respect for the medicine at all. That's how I came into it. I didn't even prepare for it, really. You're supposed to fast and do all this, to prepare for taking the medicine. I didn't really do any of that. I actually went out dancing the night before, you know, and
Wow,
headed out
that's
that way.
hardcore.
I mean, I was going through a lot at that time, so I mean, my mind was somewhere else. But my main focus again was to have a connection with my mom. That was it. I didn't know anything about the medicine. I didn't care about the medicine. All I wanted was that, and that was my focus.
Okay,
But
so I was gonna
again, I
ask
didn't I
you.
didn't respect the medicine, and I didn't take it serious either. I was just
Yeah.
trying something,
Yeah.
basically.
Natalie, can
Yeah,
I
so
just
my next
ask a quick
question.
question?
Yeah, sure.
What Randall, was it here in the US
Mhm.
or was it out of the country?
No, it was here. It was here
Mm,
where I did it. Yeah, it was on the Indian reservation, um, and it was kind of secluded. It takes a minute to get there. Yeah, beautiful place.
wow.
Okay.
I mean, you're around nature. I mean, it's really beautiful, and it puts you in a different kind of state of mind, I guess. Being in that environment. It was beautiful.
That's
Coming
a
out of
great
the
question,
medicine,
Ma.
coming out of the medicine, it was even more beautiful.
Mm,
Everything just like lit up, man. It's like I'm looking at the trees and it's around wilderness, and I'm just looking at everything like, wow, this is amazing. There's a whole different feeling coming in and leaving.
Yeah, that sounds incredible. Well, my next question was gonna be what's the preparation like for this type of ceremony, but you kind of touched on it. So basically you have to like cleanse your body, right?
That's what you should do. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
When you're taking the medicine, you need to come in prepared, have an intention. Like you said, cleanse your body. Fast, clear your mind. If you really want to get the best experience out of it. But that's what a lot of people say. But from my experience and what I get out of it, and from my understanding, from like I said, my experience, you're gonna get what you need out of it. Basically, you know, you're gonna get what you need out of it. It's gonna, heal you wherever you need to heal, not where you want to be healed, but where you need it. You know, That's what I got of it. I didn't get any connection with my mom. I didn't get any of that. Not even a little bit. Nothing. But I got a whole amazing experience that changed my life.
Mm, that's powerful.
Mm.
But my intent to
So
go in didn't really work out, in that way. But I mean, again, I can't emphasize that, how much it really changed my life, and I'm still here right now, and still moving forward.
yeah, that's a really good point. We're glad you're here.
Mm.
Okay, so then my next question was going to be, what were your thoughts? Like what were your initial thoughts when you were going into this ceremony? Let's say for example, when you first started to take some of the medicine, like were you scared? Like how did your body react? Like were you
So
observant of everybody else?
I never did any kind of, if you can call it drugs. I never did any kind of hallucinate, nothing before that. I have a story with that. I maybe smoked a little bit of weed. That was as far as I went, and I didn't even like to smoke. So if I was to do marijuana, which I don't do now, by the way, you know, but I
Yes.
would I would do
PSA.
I would do yeah, I would do edibles. That's what I would do. Because I didn't like to smoke, right? My stepfather at the time, when I was like 5 6 years old, he used to have me smoking, even smoking out of a bong. I learned how to smoke out of a bong. I learned how to smoke off a roach so I don't burn my lips at 5 years old.
Wow.
But that's another story. But yeah, so I was super against all that, and plus the fact that if I would have let my mom smoke instead of pushing the medication on her that the doctors are giving her, another story, she would probably still be alive today, and that's another guilt I had with that. So I
Mm.
I I, I was super against any kind of drugs in any kind of way, you know. So it was really difficult for me to do this, but again, my experience and having that conversation with God, like literally, I felt like I had a conversation with him. Um, I was pretty much all in. I couldn't say no to it, and the guilt was really,
Yeah,
really big.
it sounds like once you take the medication, it starts taking effect right away, or it takes a little bit of time.
So once you take the medicine, you could go in. I saw people going in pretty quick. They
Mm.
came around with more medicine if you wanted to take more, because some, like, I'm a bigger body, so maybe that's the reason. Um, it took me two, to go in. Uh, but mainly it took, most of the people around me, it took them one, and they went in. They started going in their experience, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, "What the hell is going on here?" I see this lady over here crying. I see this guy over here laughing and just having a euphoric experience. It looks like to me, just like, what are they doing? I thought I was in like, yeah, like I shouldn't be there. It was just super weird to
Yeah.
me. Never experienced anything like that except for like at a church when people were having their what they call it, spirit taking them over and they're talking in tongues and stuff. I seen that, but this was super different, man. From even that, it was really really interesting at that time.
Yeah, did you like lock eyes with anybody
No,
like in the ceremony?
no,
Okay.
I didn't care about any. Honestly, where I was at, I didn't care about anybody in there. All I cared about was having that connection with my mom. That was it. I didn't care about anybody in there.
Mm.
Not saying I care about people. I just didn't care at that moment. I didn't. Whatever they were going through, whatever they were doing, didn't bother me in that way. I wanted what I wanted,
Yeah.
and that's what I was there for. Period. You know. But I did get up to leave when I saw this coming around me. I felt like, okay, maybe I'm in the wrong place because it's getting too weird for me. Because I got it was just it was crazy just seeing how people were just, one person was just like this, and it was just it was off the wall to me, you know. And then so I go to get up, and something pulled me back down. There was nobody else around me at that time. I had someone next to me here going through their experience. I had someone next to me here going through their experience, but nobody behind or around me. But I go to get up and I got pushed back down. And then the shaman came over and she just looked at me and I'm looking at her like I was about to. I want to get out of here. And she goes, "Would you like some more medicine?" And I'm like, "Do I need it?" My attitude was a little different. I was just, "Do I need it?" And she goes, "Well, it's up to you. If you want more medicine, I can give it to you." And the fact that something pulled me back down, and I'm like, "What was that?" Kind of freaked me out. Okay, give me the medicine, I took it. Swear, not even. I would say after taking the second medicine, not even. Oh man, a minute. Boom, I was gone. I was literally gone. Yeah. Oh, when I was taking the when okay, so everybody gets up and goes up to the shaman. This is their system, right? They go up, take the medicine, they sage you, pray as they're praying, they sage you, and you go sit back down and wait for your experience. Okay. When I went up there, um, she gave me the medicine and I started to drink it and I said out loud, I said, "This tastes like," everybody started laughing, because it's like those, you don't get that
We
really.
can
It's like,
swear on the podcast. We might have to
well,
edit that out.
oh, sorry. Well, okay, I'll
No,
mind
it's
that.
all good. It's
Oh,
all
no,
This,
good.
it's all good.
but my point to that is that everybody's so already spiritual and in that mind frame, that it just came out of left field, when I did that. It's like, and I looked around and everybody's like laughing. I'm like, why are they laughing? This tastes like, it tastes crap. It tastes like crap. This tastes really bad. How am
It's
I supposed to take this down? But
So
yeah.
were there people like vomiting or like what
Okay.
is the
So
initial?
that's later on in your uh, ceremony. You do have to um, um, get the medicine out of you, basically. Yeah, you can't hold it. You can't hold the medicine. Yeah, you have to get it out. So yeah, you do throw it up, or you can let it out the other way. There's two ways you can
okay.
let it out.
Wow.
I did both actually. It was crazy. Like, yeah.
Wow. So then, okay. So then I'm curious then, did the medicine stay in your body for a couple of days, or did you still feel that feeling like after a couple of days, or like how long did that
So
last?
yeah, the medicine stayed for a while actually. I became vegan, like I told you, for 3 years. I didn't touch meat or want to touch meat. I had reasons for going back to eating meat, but yeah, I went 3 years just not one and doing and actually navigating a lot of different ways too. You know, yeah, about 3 years I was doing that. Yeah, it stayed with me for a while. Yeah, and things that I used to have as a child that I didn't want or want to be have any part of started to come back. Spiritually and stuff. So yeah, pretty powerful stuff, man. And again,
Wow.
very life changing for me, anyways. It was very life changing.
I don't know if I could, I never took drugs. I dabbled in marijuana here and there.
Mm.
I don't know if I could convince myself to do this just because I wouldn't want to be out of control of myself. That's the fear of it, not knowing, what you're out of your mind for a while. So that's my fear.
That's why I feel like I was very blessed and lucky to have my experience where I had it, and the way everything happened. I was, taken care of. I was in a safe space, for sure. And that means, and mind you, I didn't know anything going in, anything, zero. And I didn't even know that was even a thing, to be in a safe space for this. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's super important to be in a safe space if you're gonna do anything in this, you know, in this way.
So, Randall, do people get violent? Like,
No,
is that one of the
I didn't see anybody get violent. I didn't see any of that. It was more you either fighting with your demons, which I seen a couple of people go through that, and then they come into their euphoria, and they got rid of it supposedly, and now they feel like, oh my god, everything's perfect. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful feeling to have all around. I mean, just the experience and have that awareness of how beautiful everything can be and how beautiful everybody around you can be, and not have that. What's this person have, or what's their motive to even want to talk to you, or why are they around you? Why are they giving you a hug? Or why are they asking you? Let's go have lunch. Let's get together as a group or something like that. Well, there's a motive there. That all goes away. You see different. You know, you don't. I
Yeah.
used to see the worst in everybody all the time, like 24/7. That's actually came back. It does come back because you're in the world, and I was told that too. That things will come back, but it's up to me to keep practicing my awareness, and how I feel, and try to keep that. But things do come back, like having that, thinking that someone has a ulterior motive with you, you know. But it's not as heavy as it was before. I could say that. Not even close. My guilt isn't as heavy as it was before with my mom. That I don't want to say it went away because it's always going to be there, but it's not heavy like before. Not even close. But yeah,
Wow.
the ceremony, taking the medicine, it really, I mean, I can't say anything more than it changed my life. Literally changed my life. You know, in a good way, not any kind of bad way at all. It was all good. Put me down this path. I can also say that I've helped other people, to kind of go in that direction as well because they were being called to it, and they made that decision, and I helped them. I sponsored a few people as well, which means I paid for their ceremony because they couldn't afford it, or they felt. Uh, I mean, it's just it just put me on a different path, a different journey, for sure.
Okay, so then follow up to that, because you were talking about like like how you were experiencing it. So did you experience any visions? Like what were your physical sensations and what were your emotional reactions? So like it sounds like it's a very out of body experience. Were you still self-aware at all at any point when you were in, like when when the medicine was taking effect?
I can go over my experience. I'm sure this is something that anybody that's done ayahuasca or has an experience likes to share because you get this feeling like you want everybody to feel that. You want everybody to experience that. It's not going to be the case, but you want that. You want that for everybody around you. Like, oh my God, if you felt this, you would see what I'm talking about. Or if you experience this, it's just it will change your whole aspect on everything you see in life, and how you do things, how you navigate, in life, how you are around other people, how you treat other people, how you treat yourself. That's huge right there in itself. How you treat yourself, you know, um, forgiving yourself, amazing. If you can forgive yourself, holy shit. Oh, sorry, holy crap. It's beyond words. You know,
You're g- you're good.
yeah.
I just have, just so viewers know, I have to put my silence my mic so you don't pick up any of the back conversations because I'm outside. So
Oh, okay, that's what it is.
You need one of these mics right here. This will solve that right there.
yeah, the only thing is that you have neighbors, noises, animals outside, so I can't really
Oh, I
avoid that.
forgot about the name. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Ma,
So,
do you have any follow-up questions to that?
well, did you want to hear the
Randall.
experience, or I think she asked for the
Oh,
experience. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Um.
you want to walk us through that? Yeah, sure.
So when I took the second medicine, I uh went in like it was took minutes. I just went straight in. I brought a crystal the size of my hand. I was told that would help, you know, with my healing of the guilt and all that, right? Um, Now I'm gonna tell you what the people around me saw. what they saw me do. I don't remember doing any of this. I just remember a light coming to my forehead, and I just got shot up through this crystallized vortex kind of tunnel. Just got shot up, and all of a sudden I'm looking at Earth. I'm just floating and looking at Earth, and I feel like I'm there. Like I literally feel like I'm there. Like it's me. It's not a dream. It's not. I'm there. I'm literally there. Um, and you know, to me, the world is round, and it's not flat from my experience. But I don't want to speak too much on that. But from my experience, from what I saw, and it's the colors are amazing, man. It's just unbelievable. The colors is unbelievable, and there's an aura also around Earth. Um, but I'm sitting there just in awe, like I, just awe, like what? I almost cussed. I'm sorry, I didn't. Um, but yeah, I was in awe, just floating, you know. And then all of a sudden, something came from behind and grabbed me from behind and pulled me in, and I just got, like, shot in. And then at that point, I was standing or floating. I don't remember, but I was in a spaceship, and there's this alien entity standing right in front of me, and it was communicating with me through vibrations and through humming. What it was saying or trying to say, I don't know, but this is how it was talking to me, and this is what I got from it. And then I felt something really, really, really bad, like really bad, try to get into our space, our conversation, I guess. And I saw the entity react, turn around, did something on it. It was all transparent, by the way. The ship was transparent. Da, 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 and I got shot back to my body. And when I came up, the crystal actually fell from my. Well, I didn't tell you what I did, but the crystal fell from my forehead and actually chipped my tooth. I got that fixed, by the way, later on, but kind of chipped it. But and I sit up, and I got literally everybody that's not going through their experience at that time was staring at me, and then I see them look away when I stood up. But I already saw them looking because I'm well aware of everything around me, like super uh, hyper aware, I guess. Uh, and but I'll explain to you what they saw because after you go through your experiences, everybody sits around and talks about their experience. Well, a lot of people were talking about what they saw me go through my experience. I didn't want to talk about it. The shaman actually took me outside and had a conversation with me about it. But um, what they said that they saw was I laid back, I grabbed my crystal and I put it on my forehead, and then I stayed straight as a board for over an hour or so, and I was humming the whole time. And I don't believe this part, but they said it didn't seem like I was breathing. I was just humming the whole time. But I stayed straight as a board, like didn't move a muscle. The woman next to me, she actually had to leave the tent because it freaked her out, you know. But yeah, that was my first experience in that. And then I'm sitting trying to figure this out, and then it took me back in again. This is my second experience, and this experience,
Oh, this is all in the same ceremony?
yeah,
All in the same session? Oh, wow.
yeah, yeah. My second one, I was looking up the Teepee, and I see this totem pole form in front of me, and then I had this overwhelming sensation of being accepted, like I belonged. Uh, I was a part of something that I never felt before in my life. But the main thing is being accepted, you know, and being a part of something. It was like amazing. And I had Native Americans of that land, supposedly of the land, I guess, was circling me and dancing around me, doing the chanting and stuff, right? So that was
So interesting.
I felt so like I belonged, you know, like I belonged. And I was accepted. That was another one, accepted, like amazing at that time. So
Yeah,
what
the
they
way you
saw,
describe it,
go ahead,
sorry, I was
go
gonna
ahead.
say the way you describe it, it sounds like they became your family almost. Like it's that powerful.
Yeah, it
Well,
does.
well, the shaman broke a lot of that stuff down for me when I talked to him about it, and yeah, he kind of put it in perspective for me of what the meanings were behind some of it, you know. But what they saw me go through at that point, you know, some of the people around me, they said I was looking up the teepee, and all of a sudden I started torquing my body, you know, like, you know, just torquing my body, and then out of nowhere I just looked straight at the fire. My right eye was pointed straight to my right, my left eye was pointed straight to my left. I was just like this. Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
your
I was
How's
eyes
free.
that
did.
I
I guess your
happen?
eyes did
I
too.
was freaking people out on there, you know.
Yeah, that sounds intense.
It was very much so. Yeah.
Wow.
Just the to hear the feet, you know, dancing around me, and then the I, you know, just all that was wow, just wow. You know, the music that I listen to, or you know, I'm introducing myself to with the Native American drums and all that. You know, doesn't even come close to what I felt there. But I get a little bit of a feeling, but
Yeah.
not even close to what I felt there. You know.
That is just really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think to absorb it and to try to picture it is difficult. And it sounds like the experience is very personal. So my guess would be that everyone in that ceremony experiences it the way that they're meant to, I guess. If that's a good explanation. I don't know. Um, but it sounds like it was absolutely life changing. So like when you were describing what was happening to you, what was the most challenging moment, or were there any challenging moments, or did you feel, overwhelmed? Like how did you deal with
So
that?
it was all overwhelming to me because it's all new and completely, basically out of this world kind of stuff, you know. But my third experience is the one that really got me. Was I had a connection with Mother Ayahuasca, Mother Earth, and how uh, we're killing this earth. You know, we're killing our mother that you know gives us life, keeps us alive, and keeps us here. You know, that one kind of set really deep. That was more emotional. You know, like I had the euphoric, you know, out of the, you know, another world kind of thing, and then I had the grounding, and then I had the emotional, like really deep. That one hit me really deep. I was crying at that. I mean, yeah, I can even like right now. I still feel it. You know, it's like it was super emotional. That one.
So you remember all these feelings,
Oh yeah.
like you remember
Even when I
the
talk about it,
whole experience.
yeah, yeah, for sure. It probably never go away in that way. You know, I won't allow it because it was so amazing to me. I don't want to. I want it. I want it. That's why I see a lot of people they keep doing ayahuasca or they do the medicine because they want to get that feeling back, you know. I don't do the medicine cuz I got my healing from it and I know where I'm at, and but if I can help someone else guide them, you know, I'm all for it, you know. But if you're doing it more and more and more just to keep getting that, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You know, you already got a healing, you know. You're already working on that healing. So you got what you need to, you got the tools to work forward and help yourself and heal yourself, because healing yourself is going to heal other people around you. And I learned that, you know, it's
Yeah,
not
I
all
Sounds
feel
about you.
like somebody, yeah. And it sounds like if someone needs an antidepressant, you know, you may want to explore ayahuasca. You know what I mean? I mean, there's people that need, rather than considering an antidepressant, say. they may want to have that experience to see if that is a healing for them.
Yeah, I'm all for that for sure. I mean, like I said, it's all in what you get out of it. You know, you'll get, you can not even get a healing and get some pain out of it. But it's, to me, that's still a healing because you see what it is you need to work on. You know, and if it's super deep, then you got a lot of work ahead of you. Ayahuasca is not going to take that away from you. It's not that. You got to do the work. You know, that's just ayahuasca to me is just a tool to get there in a way. You know, it's an amazing one,
Yeah,
but
and I don't want to say that you should use it in place of um, medication,
mm,
antidepressants, but it looks like for it might be an option.
I was taking
Not sure,
I was taking my doctor put me on medicine, antidepressant medicine, um, and I was taking that before I did the ceremony. I haven't touched it since. I have feel no need for it. You know, I I'd rather, in my perspective, I would rather take something that's from Earth versus something that's man made. You know, as far as medicine goes. But you get into
yeah.
situations where you need it, so you should take it for sure. But find other ways around needing that or having to take this. You know, and it may be some. You know, it could be even yoga or anything that can put you in a different state of mind or a different feeling. It doesn't have to be like such a strong thing like ayahuasca or anything like that. If
So
you're
it sounds like you, yeah, go ahead, Randall.
But if you need it and you're called to it, then there's a reason for that, you know? And what I mean by called to it is if it's coming into your awareness, that means, it's kind of like you're being called. Like this is something you may help you, you know.
Yeah, what I was gonna comment on was it sounds like this has been probably maybe a good 8 years since this
Yeah,
experience.
I had my
Okay.
experience. My mom passed away in 2013 on her birthday. I had my experience uh I want to say when was it? Uh it was in 2013. I just can't remember the exact month. But yeah, it was in 2013.
Okay, not too far off. So then my question to that was, would you do anything differently, like looking back?
Going into the ceremony or
Either
just in
that
general?
or maybe if you had known more about ayahuasca, do you think you would have been called to it? Or do you think that the way that life has played out with that experience is enough for you?
Oh yeah, it's enough for sure. The way everything played out. Yeah, I wouldn't do it differently. Even what I know now, I still want to do it differently because the experience I got out of it was amazing. And if I would have done it differently, who knows? I probably still would have got that experience because it was something that was going to happen. I guess I feel that pretty
Yeah, it sounds
strongly
like you
though.
were definitely called to it for sure. Yeah, I think more so, I think when I think about when you said, you just kind of went gung ho. You didn't even, there was no preparation. You just wanted to get it done. So, my thought process would be maybe you would have, if you had the chance or if you do it again, you'll go into it with a different mindset, right? Because it sounds like, people are drawn to it for healing, and I think, and I will say, because I am a practicing clinician, that this information is not intended to give any kind of medical advice at all. This is strictly a conversation about you, Randall, who's gone through this experience. And if you are on psychotropic medication, you want to follow all of your doctor's rules. I will say that in the little research that I've done, you are supposed to be completely off of psychotropic medication in order to do this ceremony. So it's very important, and you want to do your research, talk to your doctors. You know, you want to get your background, know what you're doing, because this is an experience, from what I understand, that is, for lack of a better word, out of body. So, that means that you don't know how you're going to react to this medication at all. So that's a risk in itself. But I appreciate, how you describe that calling, Randall, because I think that's important for people to understand here in this space, is that this is a very spiritual experience. And by, I think, when you say by being called to it, it's that something higher than yourself, we'll call it the universe, God, whatever spiritual practice, you identify as, is drawing you into something that's much more sacred. So I appreciate you sharing it that way.
And to
So
be
was it
Mhm.
I
Oh,
just I have a quick question before I go further. Um, so you kind of touched on what you wanted to achieve by drinking it. So can you revisit that just a little bit? Like you went in for a purpose.
and also to be clear, I did get off. I got off the medication before I did ayahuasca. That I did do. I took that serious because you don't know, you know, and then with my past, and what I seen my mom go through, mixing medications and stuff like that. That I don't mess with that not at all. But the part that I didn't respect or didn't take it serious was the fasting, and of course going out. I went dancing before I went the next day. So um, yeah, that part. Yeah, but the medication, I was completely off that, prepared for this medicine. But I want to
Was that
be
a
clear with
certain
that.
amount of time?
I'm sorry.
Was being off, how long of a time span do you have to be off
I
medication
think I was
before
off
you
2 weeks or something like that. Yeah, they tell you to, but I think it was like 2 weeks. I didn't touch it. Maybe a little longer than that, but yeah, I did get off it though.
Oh, wow. Looks like you got Mimi in the
Yeah, I
background.
was. Yeah,
She's bringing my plug because my computer is going to go dead, and I don't want
yeah,
it to go
mine's
dead
about
Oh,
to too.
during our talk. Um,
okay.
but anyways, what I was going to say was, I guess my last question for you, Randall, is, and you kind of already touched on it, but what advice would you give someone considering ayahuasca? And we've already talked about the medical aspect of it, right? So that, we know that people need to go and do their own research. But you personally, I would love to hear, why you would consider telling someone about this. What would be the context for you? What would be not the buy-in, but the draw? Like, if you really felt like someone was deeply in need, like, what would that look like for you, giving someone advice about it?
Oh,
Yeah.
I've done that a few times. I mean, if they're willing to listen and hear about it, then of course, they're being called for sure. In that way, I mean, just giving my story and my truth to it, and how I feel about it, uh, usually, gets the curiosity going there. What I would say is, whatever you believe in, God, source, whatever it is your belief is, because there is something there for sure. I can guarantee you there's something there. Uh, but I would I would just put it as, ask for guidance. You know, uh, like I've told a few people, get a pen and paper, put it by your bedside, and ask it before you go to bed. Just ask for guidance. Is this something that I should do, or is this for me? And is this where you're guiding me? Just ask. You know the right questions to ask. We know the answers. We know the answers. We just block ourselves from having that. You don't even really need ayahuasca to get these kind of experiences. You can get them yourself. If you just open yourself up more to that if that's what you're looking for, you know,
So
spiritually.
was it everything you expected?
No, it was way more, way more. But but as far as like if I was to try to, I guess, guide someone, I would tell them that, ask for guidance, you know, um, and whatever comes to you, usually will come in a dream. Whatever comes to you, write it down right away when you wake up, because you'll forget about it. It'll go away just like that. So write it down. Whatever you get from whatever it is that night, or when you're asking for that guidance. You know, but I also like to be very clear. Like, ask for protection when you're doing this. You know,
That's a good point.
uh, and,
Really?
and the way I do it for me is because I believe in. I have a story with the angel. Uh, of course, a story with God. My situation, but I ask for angels to surround me and protect me. But I don't do just me though. I ask for my loved ones the same. I don't just do it for me. I feel if you just me, you bring a little negative into that. But if you're about your whole circle and people around, even people you don't know, it depends on whoever. Someone may have came into your space that day, and just pray for that person. Like, hey, I hope that person's doing well. Please guide them and keep them safe. You know, it
Sure.
doesn't always have to be about you.
Sure.
That's what I got from a
Sure.
lot of this. You know,
Yeah. That's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like like I'm not, if I were to talk to somebody else about ayahuasca, it would be a completely different conversation, right? Like I think in my brain, none of them compare to each other. Like, and I think that's what's most amazing about the discussion of ayahuasca is that it really is unique to you. So, in that sense, you really are connecting with yourself. Some people have told me that it's a straight ego death, and I believe that because you are disconnected from reality for a while, which is we are always in reality, right? We're always walking in reality, but with this medication, it straight up you don't even have control over that anymore. And so it sounds like you just gave yourself up to whatever wanted to be presented to you and just fully absorbed it. I mean, it I didn't hear you talk about any struggle. I didn't hear you talk about any fight with yourself. Like, I think was there any of that at all? Like, or did you just kind of let this take you on a
I'll put
wave?
it to you like this: after my experience, even though I didn't want to share my experience because it was super overwhelming, I was still trying to process it. I went and
Mm.
gave everybody a hug. No, I did. I went literally gave, and the
I
first
believe
people I
that.
and the first people I gave hugs to were both the shamans. I gave everybody a hug in there, or tried to give everybody a hug. You know, make my way to people because people they wanted to know what was that, and what were you experiencing when you did this, and I'm just like, I don't really want to talk about it, but give me a hug. You know? Yeah,
And he
That's
walked in
beautiful.
there.
I was pushing everybody away.
Yeah.
Because there were certain people
Good
there that
point.
been there before, and they've done the ayahuasca before, and they understand. And right away, when there's someone new that comes in, they go to try to give them a hug, and I was literally like arm's length, stay right there, don't come. Yeah, I'm good right there. You know, yeah. So everybody knew to not come and try to give me a hug, and then flipped. I mean, I was the one going around getting everybody hugs.
Free hugs for everybody.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Free hugs.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a lot
Wow.
there. I mean, there's a lot there. With
Oh,
and I associate that with being in your mom's womb, kind of thing. There's a lot there with the hug. That we take for granted.
That's really
yeah.
beautiful. And from what I
Wow.
understand, ayahuasca means vine of the soul. So it's so telling how you described this whole experience. You basically were connected to your soul. That's pretty powerful.
Wow. It
Well,
hasn't convinced me, but
uh,
it is, but I respect
Well,
the
it's not
process.
supposed to convince you. That's not that. No, it's not supposed to
exactly.
convince you. It's just a story. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just like, mm, you know, I'm already out of my mind, so I don't want to go even further. But it's interesting to hear the perspective, you know. Um, it, maybe I'm just not that curious yet. I don't know. But it's, it sounds like it was very euphoric and a fantastic experience.
Most of the people that I help for their journey, um, they all pretty much said the same thing. It could be an ego buster, like you said, Natalie. Um, but the main thing is forgiveness. Forgiveness is huge that we hold on to. The guilt. I want to say that we hold on to is the guilt, and it could be a number of different reasons to have guilt, but guilt is guilt, and it's very harmful, not just to you spiritually, but also to your body, to your how you handle things in life, and who you surround yourself with, because then you bring that energy into you. Uh, I mean, when you have that um, aha moment, like, why am I holding on to this? Is it my
Mhm.
fault? Really? I mean, things happen. you know People make their choices. You may have done something bad, or something you don't agree that you should have done, but it happened. You got to move on and make it better. And the way you make that better is forgiving yourself, one. And when you do that and you really forgive yourself and really feel that, then you'll start having that energy around you where you start bringing the right people into your life to help you in that process of forgiveness, and start really feeling it
That's
and
powerful.
understanding what that means.
That is
Actually,
powerful.
I really like how you put that. Yeah, that's actually really beautiful because it sounds like when you change your energy, you start to attract the things that you want in your life, the things that empower you and yeah, really light you up inside. Yeah, that's pretty beautiful. So my last question, as we wrap this up, and Ma, you can jump in if you have any other further comments or questions, but uh are you planning to go through this again in the future? Or do you feel like if Mother Ayahuasca called you, then you would decide to go into this again?
Absolutely. If I'm directed towards that, and I know for sure that's the case, then yeah. As far as I feel now, no, I don't have any reason to or want to. But I'll help other people on their journey for sure. I'll keep doing that. I do have a story. I did ayahuasca again with a friend. So that friend would do it only if I did it with them. I got nothing out of it, and I actually got a message, which is kind of weird, saying I wasn't even supposed to be there. That wasn't,
Mm.
I got nothing out of it. I didn't even throw up, and I took 2 shots. I didn't throw up. I didn't even throw the medicine up. I went the other way, but it didn't come out of me right away or nothing like that. It stayed in me for a minute, but I didn't get nothing out of it. I was already where I
So
needed
there
to
was
be.
no euphoria.
Nothing, zero. I was already where I needed to be.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Wow.
Wow, that
yeah.
is
I didn't get anything out of it.
interesting. It is.
And that solidifies that
Oh,
it's not a parlor trick, right? It's not a fun drug. This is a completely different experience, and it's sacred and it's unpredictable. And like I said, it's not something. There are, from what I know from the psychotherapy world, this is being tested on PTSD and depression and some higher level mental health problems to try and just help people work through their brain, their trauma, their fear, that is chronic, right? That is chronically messing with their behavior, their decisions, their their personality. So it is something that is being tested and observed, which is also very interesting too. I'm kind of, I don't know about the two of you, but I'm kind of like on the fence about it just because I really hold to things that are sacred. And I really don't think that things should be manufactured over and over and over again and pushed out in bulk and mass. This is a very beautiful experience. And if you are meant to experience it, then like you said, Randall, it's going to come to you. The universe is going to work itself out to where this is presented to you and then you have a choice. So, but I'm all for helping people and I'm all for mental health because it's what I practice, right? I just feel like, I think the sacredness of this needs to stay sacred and beautiful. Which actually, one last thing, because I know we did ask it in the beginning that there are places where you can go to
Mm.
experience this. So do you know any places, or how would you suggest for someone, let's say that they did hear about ayahuasca and maybe that person didn't want to disclose to them where they had it done, but how would you go about figuring out who, is practicing this and who is offering this?
First, I mean, that's kind of hard
And or
because
you don't have to answer that question, but
yeah,
just more for viewers who might be interested. Like, I would say, okay, my first thought would be YouTube, right? Because everything's on YouTube. So somewhere in there, somebody's going to disclose either, okay, maybe you do have to go to Peru, but maybe you don't,
I I
you
I
know.
would I would I wouldn't suggest that because there's a lot of bad things happening in that situation. Um, like well, you can look it up. I'm not going to really speak on that, but as far as doing it in another country, where I wouldn't feel safe with that, honestly. Um,
Good
another
point.
thing,
Good point.
another thing is, uh, doing it in someone's house. I wouldn't really feel safe with that as well. I feel safe being on sacred land because there's a reason it's sacred land. You know, that's why I feel more comfortable and safe. And if anybody was to ask me, that's where I would direct them personally. But just be very mindful and be very careful on where you if you do decide to do this medicine because you really have no control when you take the medicine. You're taken somewhere else. So you're just left there. Your body's left here while you're somewhere else. And you have to be very careful with that. And be mindful and also you're opening up doors. So you want to be safe spiritually, stuff that we can't see. You want to be safe with that. You can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. You know, you have to be very, very careful with uh, being in a safe space, being protected, and knowing the energy's good around you. You're being taken care of.
Okay.
And for
Yeah, because
me,
from what I understand, yeah, go ahead.
and for me, where I did it, I felt very safe, even going on the land. I'll give you a story. On my way there, I got to plug in my computer real quick. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
I'll keep talking though, but when on my way there, mind you, I'm not in the state of mind, that spiritual stuff, none of that, right? I'm driving towards where I did the ceremony, and there's a little bit of drive going into the woods area, whatever, to go to the land where they have the teepee and everything. But hello,
Yep, we can still hear you.
okay, can you see me?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, my computer shut off. It just shut back on because I plugged it in. But what was that? Oh, so on my way, it was like I want to say 4 o'clock in the morning, something like that. I started driving, and there was a point on the land on the road where I was driving where I felt this wind kind of thing in my car, and I was like, "What was that?" And then I had the sensation I needed to go to the bathroom. Number one, not number two, number one. And I pulled over. I pulled over, get out of my car, and I'm standing there like, okay, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just go? Right. And then something like came over me. I literally drove 30 minutes back, or close to like 20 minutes back on that road to get to a spot where I felt comfortable with taking going to the bathroom. And then I drove back. I know it's weird, and I
Wow.
Yeah.
can't even it is what it is, and I did what I did.
Yeah.
But I felt like it wasn't a good idea for me to do that, you know,
Mhm.
there. And the intentions I had with that was not good, you know. Um, so that's one. The second, when I got there, I didn't go to where the group they had a group that goes the night before. I didn't go with that, and they slept in the teepee. I parked my car outside around the corner by some trees, and I slept. And I had an amazing dream about a jaguar. Um,
Mm.
I won't get too deep into that one, but I had an amazing dream about a jaguar. And the shaman actually told me when I spoke to him about my experience and everything, he told me I was part of the Jaguar clan. And I didn't tell him about my dream, which was kind of odd that I had a dream of a jaguar.
Ooh.
And he told me, you're part of the Jaguar. You're spiritual, whatever, And he also gave me, which threw me off, he also gave me a feather, an eagle feather. And he told me the story of how he got that feather. He said he was on his journey because he journeyed through all the states in the U.S. Walking, I guess, but he journeyed through. And he said on his journey, the spirits blessed him with this eagle, you know, feathers. He had a whole set of feathers, but he called it the spirits blessed him with this eagle. And he told me, and I didn't ask him where that all happened because my mind isn't even in that conversation. My mind is what just happened to me. But I'm listening to him anyways, and he says, "I want to give you this feather. I'm being told to give you this feather." And I'm like, "Okay." And he goes, "I got it from my journey, blah blah blah." And it was in Oklahoma. I'm like, "Wait, what? The fuck? Sorry,
Wow.
what the hell? Oklahoma?" He's like, "Yeah, it was in Oklahoma where that happened." I'm like, "I'm from Oklahoma. Are you serious right now?"
Yeah,
And he
that's
also
crazy.
he also told me that while I was going through my experience with the the land, the Native Americans of that land, that he saw a spirit standing over me. This freaked me out because he described that spirit to me, and I never told anybody, what that spirit looked like, but he described it to the T almost, and it was a spirit that I used to see as a child. It was an Indian chief. That's a whole nother story, but my mom actually saw it one time standing behind me, the spirit. That's how I knew that I was seeing what I was
Wow.
seeing as a kid. I wasn't making this up. But yeah, it was in a house that was built over an Indian burial ground. Um, and that's where the roof collapsed and caused my mom's injury, you know, messed her back all up. But it was on that land where I used to see that spirit. He used to visit me. And I'm the only one that didn't get hurt on that land. My sister got hurt and my mom got hurt, but I never got touched on that land. But a lot
Wow.
of stuff happened on that land. It was crazy. Like a lot of stuff happened. It was, like spiritual stuff flying. One time I was sinking in the backyard. I can't make the. How do you even explain that stuff? You know, it's just crazy stuff. But this shaman
Crazy.
said that he saw that spirit standing behind me on my during my ceremony, my experience, and it was at that time when I was having that experience when my right went straight to my right, left straight to the left. Um, he was standing behind me, and he described it to me,
Profound.
and I'm just
Yeah.
like, how do you explain that? How's that even? This shaman can't get in my head and get all that information out of my head. How do you explain
Yeah.
it?
You didn't even know who he was.
No, no, I didn't know any of those
So
people.
the connection. Yeah.
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 Wow, that's
And he
that's
said
incredible.
that spirit is actually my spirit guide, I guess. You know, uh, and he's been there with me the whole time. He protects me. in that, in that respect. But I haven't seen him since I was a kid, though. I mean, I don't see him, but I feel things, but I don't actually see. You know, when I was a kid, I used to be able to see spirits, but that one was always like, and very dominant, very strong, man. Just like, just scary in a way, so strong. But I felt protected. I wasn't scared of him. You know.
Wow. We're
Wow.
definitely going to have to have you back on, Randall, to talk about the spiritual experiences that you've had. They sound like they're all each very unique. And I'm sure viewers want to hear more about that.
Definitely, definitely. Like you're on the edge of your seat and you're drawing me in. Like, what's he going to say next? And what's he's going to say next? And I'm like, we've got like podcast after we got episodes ahead of us
Right.
here.
We're peeling back the onion layers, right? Okay.
Thank you,
Well,
thank you, Randall.
yeah, it's been a pleasure to have you on today. Spending an hour with us. Goodness gracious. Thank you. Thank you for coming on and being our first um duo interview podcast. This is fun. We're working out the kinks as we go, but we're looking forward to just adding more content. And I'm really happy that you're the first person on here in this context. This is great.
Yes,
Thank you for having me.
I'm excited.
I think everyone who views this is gonna get something out of it, and I think that's what's most special. So thank you for that.
That is. Yes, thank you, thank you.
Okay. Thank you guys for having me. Super appreciate it. Yeah.